Hi guys, John with you again, and welcome to the second update. Now, we're just carrying on from where we left off. And like I said, I'm doing this thinking that my viewer, basically, that's you, is a beginner. Okay, so if you're more advanced, you can kind of just look at this as, following the kit instructions. Okay, but I'm building this one as if you're a novice. A model virgin, as they say. Okay, so let's go quick over what we did yesterday. Right, we've got our suspension done. As you see, them all marked off, and also, as you can see, I'm after adding another colour. Right, so go back down to the basement, beat up your student that you've got tied up down there, rob his bag again, and get another colour of one of his highlighting pens. Reason is, these pieces I haven't fitted at this stage, and I'm going to fit them later on in the build. So when you kind of open your instructions and you look again at a glance, you'll say, alright, these pieces here, they're for later on. They're for run. What kind of run later on? So anyway, right, I've got them made. Okay, these are these pieces here. Okay, I have them made, but I don't have them fitted. Why didn't I fit them? Good question. Thank you. And this is why. Right. There's our suspension pieces all nicely fitted, right? Okay, all my wheels and everything else. Now, if I, shall we say, or you, whatever the case may be, build everything, glue them in place, right, and have that, fitted in. Now, with this one, I'm actually gluing everything on. I'm not making the wheels spinnable. I don't see the point of it. It's too much hassle. Well, it's not too much hassle. It's just, the more advanced you get in modelling, you'll find out that unless you're actually going to make it that you can go wee with it, what's the point in having the wheels turn? They, believe it or not, they'll get in your feckin' way. Okay, so it's only a kind of it's a novelty, and it's a novelty we can do without, to be quite honest with you. Okay, so by having them glued in place, it's just much better. Okay, unless you're going to building a diorama, which is another thing. Okay, so you're going to have your wheels that you're going to have them, that your track is going to be up and over something. Then, yes, by all means, if you've got a workable suspension, leave it workable. Okay. So therefore you can have your track then going up and around. Okay, and then once you have it set with that, then I'd suggest you glue it in place, because you're going to, otherwise it's going to pop down to natural position. It's going to kind of ride up and look silly. But anyway, that's another part. That's totally relevant to what I'm getting at the moment. Reason we don't fit the front one or the back one, whichever the case may be, basically it's usually whichever is your drive sprocket. When you're fitting the track, okay, you've got a loop. If you're trying to fit the loop, then you're trying to fit it over these jagged pieces, and it's very hard to get it in place. So what you do is you leave that one off for the time being. You get your track, you loop it over, right? Then you get your other piece, you fit it in, and you wiggle it around until it all, and then pop it in. And that way you can be guaranteed that all the these guides, right, the jaggedy bits, right, are slotted into where they're supposed to slot into on the track, because that's what drives the track on the real McCoy. But also that it'll be fitted around here on the back, nice and neatly. So by not fitting the front one, fitting it at a later stage, after we fit the track, it just makes that whole exercise much easier. Right? Much easier to explain when I have the track done. So when we get to the track section and I have the track made up, I'll show you again, and you'll see 100% what I mean by that. Okay? So make them up by all means, and then just put them to the side. Get yourself a little container, one of these little very, very small sandwich boxes for very small people. One of those little Tupperware containers or sealable containers, and pop them into that, and you can have all your little bits and pieces made up for later on for that. Okay, so that's basically where we've got to as it stands. Right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get get this piece finished off. So, excuse me. Now, there is nothing exciting for what we're going to do for the next section. We're not going to use any more new tools. We are literally just going to follow the instructions, and the same as for cutting off our pieces. Remember, when we cut them pieces off, be careful cutting the pieces off. Make sure that you go right up to the edge with your snips. Cut off each piece, clean it off, give it a bit of a scraping, cutting, sanding, whichever way. As long as the pieces are nice and clean. This will all come in very, very handy for a nice finished model for when the whole thing is done. Because the last thing you want to see when the whole thing is painted up and everything else is some big stupid little bit, well, not big stupid, but a little fucking stupid piece of plastic sticking up in a wheel or something. And believe me, they stick out. They stick out like a sore fucking thumb. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, what we're going to do next, shall we say. I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to bother doing all this step by step. You don't need to see me cutting out their arms and their legs and things like that, right? But we'll get it made up, and then we'll have a look at it again then tomorrow. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on. I'm going to put on their glacis plates here in the front. I think that's what they're called. I don't know exactly. But I'll put plates anyway, right? I'm going to fit all them. I'm going to make up the two figures. I'm going to put their seats into place and glue all that. But I'm not going to glue the figures to their seats. Okay. Again, reason being that they need to be painted. And they need to be painted separately. So I'm not going to glue them in there, because it's going to be much harder to paint them once they're sort of sitting down and in position. So, again, we'll make everything else, but not glue the figures in. Alright? Now, when we move on further with the instructions, when we've got to go adding on these next bits here, we have to have our figures painted by that stage. So, when all that's done, tomorrow night will be the live show, believe it or not, so you can join me for that. But over the weekend, I'm going to get the figures painted. And I'll show you a nice, quick and easy way to paint the figures. People have always asked me, how do you do your figures? Your figures always seem to turn out grand. By bluffing. Simple as that. It's a quick bluff method and it works. Okay? All will be explained when I do it. So, I'm going to get this all made up. Okay? And then we'll come back to you. And, like I said, we'll carry on with the mission. So, don't forget to join me tomorrow night for the live show. Don't forget to keep up with the build. And if you're a beginner, stick with it. Stick with it, that's all I say. And it's well worth it in the end. When everything is done and you've taken your time and you've done the best you can possibly do. And that's all anybody can do. That's all we're asking you to do, is just do your best. And benefits will pay off for a finish, and then you look at it and go, hey, I built that and I painted that and it looks fucking excellent as far as I'm concerned, and that's all that matters. Okay, so lads, I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, and when we come back we'll have it all done. Well, all step one done anyway. So see you soon. Take care. Go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, enjoy it, and love it, and love me and everybody around you. Shut up, John. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.